My name is Clara Whitman. I'm 36 years old, and I didn't realize my marriage had already been dead for years until my husband actually laughed, and said for what must have been the 100th time, my ex would have never done that. That was the moment something inside me finally broke. We'd been married 7 years. 7 years of building a life together, and 7 years of sharing my home with a woman I'd never met, never wanted to meet, and never invited, yet somehow she'd become the third person in our marriage. It didn't start as cruelty. It never does. Year 1, we're in our new house, surrounded by cardboard boxes and cheap particle board furniture. I'm on the floor, sweating, swearing at an instruction manual written by someone who clearly despised humanity. And he says it casually, not even looking at me. My ex was really handy. She built me an entire bookshelf once. Cool, good for her. I finished the dresser. One drawer sticks. It's crooked, but it holds clothes. We laugh it off. At the time, I tell myself it's harmless. A memory, a comparison that doesn't mean anything. Year 2, I forget our anniversary dinner reservation. Completely my fault. I own it immediately, apologize, try to rebook. But instead of just being angry, like a normal person, he sighs and says, "My ex never forgot important dates. She had this whole calendar system." I feel the first sting then. Small, but sharp. Year 3, I get a promotion. Longer hours. More responsibility, more stress. My ex always prioritized quality time, he says one night. She understood balance. Year 4, I plan a surprise birthday party for him, rent a venue, coordinate with his friends. The cake comes out slightly lopsided because the bakery messed up. My ex threw me the most perfect 25th birthday, he says. Everything was flawless. Year 5, he gets sick, a bad cold. I make soup, bring medicine, work from home to take care of him. While he's miserable and snapping at everything, he mutters, "My ex used to read to me when I was sick. It was really sweet." Year 6, we renovate the bathroom. I do most of the work myself to save money. The tiles aren't perfectly aligned because I'm not a professional contractor. I'm a woman with YouTube tutorials and sore knees. My ex's family had contractor connections, he says. She would have had this done professionally. You see the pattern. Every disagreement, every shortcoming, every moment I fail to live up to an invisible standard. She appears. Perfect, effortless, untouchable. I tried talking to him about it, over and over. It hurts when you compare me to her, I'd say. He'd apologize, say he didn't realize, promise to stop. 2 weeks later, my ex used to massage my feet without me asking. My friends noticed. One of them pulled me aside at a barbecue after hearing him joke about how his ex grilled better. "That's messed up," she said. "You shouldn't have to take that." I made excuses, I always did. Then came last Tuesday. I cooked dinner, pasta, homemade sauce. Nothing fancy. Took me an hour. He took 3 bites, pushed the plate away. "It's good," he said. "But my ex used to make this incredible carbonara, like restaurant quality." Something snapped. 7 years of swallowing it. 7 years of being measured against a ghost. "Then why didn't you marry her?" I asked. He blinked. "What?" "Your ex," I said. "The perfect woman. Why didn't you marry her?" "That's not—" "Because she didn't want you either." Silence. The refrigerator hummed. The air went cold. His face shifted, shock, hurt, then something darker. "How dare you?" "How dare I said. "You've been throwing her in my face for 7 years." He stood so fast his chair scraped the floor. "You're disgusting," he said. "Absolutely disgusting. And you're obsessed with a woman who didn't choose you." He grabbed his keys and slammed the door. I sat there with my apparently inferior pasta, wondering if I'd just ended my marriage. Spoiler, I had. Just not in the way I expected. The house stayed quiet that night. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, the kind that presses against your ears until you start replaying everything you said, everything you didn't say, everything you might never get the chance to say again. He didn't come home. I didn't text. At 2:07 a.m., my phone buzzed once. Staying at Mom's. "You need to think about what you said and apologize. I won't come back until you do." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I set the phone face down. Not because I was trying to punish him, not because I wanted control, but because for the first time in 7 years, I wasn't sorry. Was what I said brutal? Yes. Was it the truth I'd been swallowing since the first time he said her name like a benchmark I could never reach? Also yes. The next morning, the pressure campaign began. His older sister called first. She didn't say hello. "You really messed up," she said flatly. "He's devastated." I pinched the bridge of my nose. "Good morning to you too." "Don't get cute. How could you say something so cruel? Did he tell you what he's been saying to me for 7 years?" A pause. He mentioned the comparisons, she admitted. But that's just venting. You're his wife. You're supposed to handle it. Handle it. Like it was my job to absorb humiliation quietly. So I'm supposed to smile while being told I'm second place? You're twisting it, she snapped. He loves you. He loves me, I repeated, while constantly reminding me another woman was better. Just apologize, she said. Be the bigger person. I'll think about it. I didn't. Day 2, his father called. That alone made my stomach drop. The man barely spoke to me in 7 years. Clara, he said, I hear you hurt my son. With respect, I replied, whatever he told you isn't the full story. He said you attacked him verbally. Did he mention comparing me to his ex for our entire marriage? Silence. That's between you two, his father finally said. But a woman doesn't speak to her husband that way. And a man doesn't treat his wife like a consolation prize. He hung up. By day 3, I was exhausted. That's when I walked into the living room after work and found him sitting on the couch. No warning, no text. Arms crossed, jaw tight. We need to talk, he said. Okay. What you said was unacceptable, cruel, designed to hurt me. And comparing me to your ex for 7 years wasn't? That's different. How? I wasn't trying to hurt you, he said. I was just talking. Talking, I echoed. You bring her up when I cook, when I forget things, when I exist incorrectly. But I'm dramatic? You're being dramatic right now. I laughed, actually laughed. She mattered to me, he said. That relationship shaped who I am. Then be with her. He froze. I can't. Why not? He opened his mouth, closed it. She's what? I pressed. Another pause. We've been talking, he finally said. Just as friends. We reconnected a few months ago. My blood went cold. Define talking. Catching up? Show me your phone. He clutched it like I'd asked for a limb. That's an invasion of privacy. You've been secretly talking to the woman you compare me to constantly, and I'm the problem? I don't have to prove anything to you. He didn't show me. That told me everything. That night, I slept in the guest room. Not because he asked, but because I couldn't share a bed with someone who made me feel replaceable. The next morning, I called a divorce attorney. Not to file, just to understand my options. Because deep down, I already knew. This wasn't a marriage anymore. I didn't snoop. That part matters to me. I didn't go through his phone. Didn't guess passwords. Didn't wait for him to shower so I could play detective in my own marriage. I didn't need to. The truth came to me anyway, through the one person I never expected to help. His sister. She called 4 days later, voice tight, clipped. Not angry this time. Something else underneath. I shouldn't be telling you this, she said, but I'm furious with him, so here we are. I stayed quiet. He's been bragging, she continued, about his ex reaching out, about how she finally realized what she lost, about how they've been talking nonstop. My chest went hollow. He told you that? I asked. He told me, she said, and I told Mom. That explained the next call. My phone rang that evening while I was eating takeout alone at the kitchen counter. His mother's name lit up the screen. I answered. Clara, she said carefully, I need you to listen without reacting. I sat down. She told me everything. About the messages, about the coffee meeting, 3 weeks earlier, while we were still living together, about him telling his sister he needed to see if there was still something there. I'm not excusing him, she said, but I won't let you be blindsided. Did anything happen? I asked. A long pause. He says nothing physical, she said, but emotionally, he admitted he still has feelings. I thanked her, genuinely. Then I called the attorney again. This time I filed. The papers were served at his mother's house on a Thursday afternoon. I wanted witnesses. I knew how he'd rewrite the story otherwise. The call started immediately. You're divorcing me over what? He demanded. 7 years of being compared to someone else. Secret messages. A secret meeting. Who told you? Does it matter? Silence. Then crying. It was just coffee, he said. Nothing happened. I don't believe you, I replied. And even if I did, it doesn't matter anymore. You can't end a 7-year marriage over coffee. I'm ending it over disrespect, I said. The coffee was just proof. He hung up. Then the family assault began. Voicemails, texts, accusations. His father said I was throwing away a family. His sister called me weak for not handling a strong man. A cousin I'd met twice somehow got my number. Blocked, saved, documented. Then he showed up at my workplace. I was leaving for lunch when I saw his car. He looked wrecked, hollow-eyed, desperate. We need to talk, he said. We don't, I replied. Everything goes through lawyers. He grabbed my arm. People stared. 7 years, he pleaded. We can fix this. I pulled away. You spent 7 years telling me I wasn't enough, I said quietly. Then you went looking for someone better. That's not fair. No, I said, it's reality. I walked away. And that's when I understood something that finally made everything clear. In his mind, he hadn't done anything wrong. The comparisons were just talking. The messages were just catching up. The coffee was just coffee. And my pain? Dramatic. That wasn't someone who could change. That was someone who couldn't even see the problem. The divorce took 8 months from filing to final decree. It felt like 8 years. I learned very quickly that grief doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like entitlement. His lawyer was aggressive, loud, confident in a way that only comes from someone being fed a very selective version of reality. The first demand stunned me. He wanted the house. The house I bought 2 years before we even met. The house in my name. The house whose mortgage I paid every single month. His argument? He'd contributed to the household for 7 years. My lawyer slid a neat folder across the table. Mortgage statements. Bank records. Every payment traced to my account. Utilities and groceries were split. The house was not. The judge didn't hesitate. The house was mine. The second demand was alimony. Substantial alimony. His lawyer painted a picture of a man who'd sacrificed career growth for marriage, which was fascinating, considering he'd worked full-time the entire marriage and gotten 2 promotions. My lawyer produced tax returns, salary history, performance reviews. The judge awarded 18 months of transitional support, a fraction of what he'd asked for. His face tightened when the number was read aloud. The third demand hurt the most. Retirement. 7 years of contributions during marriage were fair game. I fought to protect what I'd built before him. But the rest? Legally fair. I lost a portion. I accepted it. Fighting further would have cost more than the amount itself. Then came the dog. Our beagle mix, adopted year 3. Suddenly he needed him. My lawyer asked for vet records, food receipts, care documentation. I had all of it. He had none. He dropped the claim. Throughout all of this, his family hovered like a storm system. Threatening letters, voicemails about what he deserved. My lawyer shut it down. Hard. The final hearing was quiet. We didn't speak. We signed papers. It was over. Walking out of the courthouse, I didn't feel happy. I felt lighter, like I'd finally set down something heavy I'd been carrying for years. Here's the part everyone always asks about. What happened to the ex? The woman who built furniture perfectly, cooked carbonara like a Michelin chef, never forgot dates, never fell short. Turns out she was never coming back. According to mutual friends, people who still drifted between our social circles, he reached out to her after I filed, told her he was getting divorced, told her he'd made a mistake, told her maybe they could finally try again. Really put himself out there. She turned him down, politely, calmly, without drama. She was seeing someone else, had been for almost a year. She told him she'd only reached out months earlier because she was feeling nostalgic after her own breakup, not because she wanted to reopen anything. She wished him well. That was it. The ghost he'd spent 7 years holding over my head didn't want him either. I won't pretend that didn't feel vindicating. Not joyful. Not triumphant. Just clarifying. He moved into a 1-bedroom apartment, complained to friends about how small it felt, about how unfair the settlement was, about how he got nothing after 7 years, conveniently forgetting he tried to take a house he never owned. He's on dating apps now. A friend of a friend sent me a screenshot. One of his prompts talked about wanting someone who appreciates him. Ironically, the ex got engaged a month later, posted photos, smiling, stable. He posted something vague the same day about timing and missed connections. Still chasing ghosts. His relationship with his family is strained. His mother barely speaks to him after the blocking incident and the lies. His sister defended him publicly, but privately they argue about money. And me? I stayed in the house, rearranged it, changed the curtains, got rid of the throw pillows he picked. Small things, but they mattered. I'm not dating. 8 months isn't enough time to process 7 years of being told you're not enough. I started therapy 2 months ago. My therapist said something that stuck with me. You spent 7 years being treated like a backup plan. That leaves marks. Don't rush to cover them. The other night, I cooked pasta. Same recipe, same sauce. It tasted better than fine, because no one was sitting across from me, waiting to remind me someone else did it better. Was what I said that night brutal? Yes. Could I have handled things differently years earlier? Probably. But after 7 years, I was out of high roads. Sometimes the truth comes out ugly, because it's been compressed for too long. Do I regret it? Honestly, no. It forced the truth into the open, exposed the emotional betrayal, ended something that had been dying quietly for years. If you're reading this and something in your relationship feels off, listen to it. You're not crazy for wanting to be someone's first choice, not their fallback, not their consolation prize. Funny thing is, the ex comparisons stopped the day I filed for divorce. Amazing how that works. Anyway, time to cook some pasta. And nobody's going to tell me it's not good enough.